Welcome back to the Anorak Entertainment Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Don Martino, and we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about here today. I'll tell you what, our guests couldn't make it. Had scheduling conflicts today, so we brought in somebody else today, so we're really looking forward to speaking with him. But hey guys, before we get started today, please hit that like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. Much appreciated. And also guys, if you haven't done so already, please go check out the merch over here and check out or you can send us a tip over here at that link. Much appreciated, guys. But yes, before I introduce our guest, we have with us on the news today, Miss Samee Ramirez. Samee, how you doing today?
Hello. Doing good. Happy to be here as always. Excited to talk to our guest. Yeah.
I feel like
doing good.
You had a hoodie on a second ago. Now you have like a tank top.
I know, I did. I turned my fan off because it's a little bit loud in here because it makes it a little loud.
Okay.
But there's a heat wave going through America currently. It's hot.
Oh, no,
hot
you're
out
fair.
Here.
You're fair. I don't care what you wear.
Yeah.
You can come in your underwear.
But he's coming on and off. It's hot.
But anyway, so we have also with us our guest, Mr. Jose Espinel. Jose, what's going on, buddy?
Well, I'm good. I'm glad to be here. First time here, and I'm glad to talk to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people might know you from our stereos that we do on Sundays, Star Wars Sundays, but we've never been able to get Jose on the show and get to know Jose the guy a little bit better. So this is exciting. I mean, so where were you born? Were you born? Yeah, where were you born? I don't know. You never told me.
I was born in New Jersey.
Okay.
My family was born in Ecuador, so that's where I have my Latino from.
I see. Okay.
I did live a year in Ecuador though. Studied, for a year there. So that's where I perfected my Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah. My parents also talk to me in home in Spanish all the time, just so we never lose it.
Are you still in Jersey or?
I'm in Atlanta now.
Oh, Atlanta. Okay, yeah, I think you've told me that before. That's right. But yeah, when'd you move to Atlanta?
Well, so I've been all over actually. I was in New Jersey for 5 years. Then I went to Texas. I was there for 5 years. Then Massachusetts for a year. Then I was in Columbus for like 7-8 years. And now I'm here in Atlanta. I came here to do college, Georgia State. So yeah, I've been here for like 2.5 years now.
Almost. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, growing up though, I mean, so did you? What do you prefer more? Do you like Jersey or Atlanta a little bit better?
Definitely Atlanta, because there's a lot more to do here. I do still miss my hometown. I really want to go back. It's been a while. I also want to go back to Texas. It's been 10-11 years since I've been back to Texas.
Right.
I got a lot of best friends still there. I'm trying to plan a trip down there to meet them again and stuff. But I do miss the cold as well. It doesn't really get that cold here. I'm pretty good with the cold. Like I love the snow and all that because we had one of the fifth worst blizzard in the area I lived in, Texas.
Yeah.
So in Massachusetts, we would get late to school like all the time because the snow under our tires would turn into ice. So we'd call the school, and be like, "Hey, they didn't cancel school. You just have to call the school and be like, "Hey, we're about to be late because the snow under our tires has turned into ice." So we just get to school. But, it's fun. I miss it. I do want to go back, but I do definitely like living here in Atlanta. It's got its perks.
Yeah, right on. I'm gonna flip it to Samee really quick while I go take care of something. But yeah, go ahead, Samee, and take over for me for a second.
So how old are you, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 21.
21. Nice. So that was a lot. So why was it that you were why were you moving so much?
My dad's
what I want to ask.
My dad's a doctor.
Oh, nice.
We get a lot of job offers for more money every place we went. So we went to Massachusetts actually because he did a fellowship for 1 year to get another to further his knowledge and his career. So he started working when he was in Ecuador, that's where he met my mom. Obviously, they met in German class. And so then my mom was in college. She was an associate's degree. She finished it, and then my dad proposed. Whatever, they got married in Ecuador, and then
Oh, did we lose him?
He got a job offer in New Jersey, so he
Oh,
should
no.
have dropped everything, moved to New Jersey. That's where I was born.
Oh, he's clear.
And so then, he started getting job offers from different places. So he went to Texas, then he went to Massachusetts for the fellowship, then got a job offer in Columbus, and now he actually works in Carrollton, Georgia. There was some
Okay.
trouble. There were some troubles with the hospital he was working in Columbus. He got a job offer in a hospital in Carrollton where he's working less and making more. So he's happy working there, and so yeah, that's why we moved a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just because job. So
Mhm.
everyone thinks it's because of military. But then I'm like,
Right, that's literally was my, when you said a doctor, I was like, oh cool, so like a military doctor, and I was like, oh wait, no.
General
Regular doctor.
Yeah. He does surgery with robots now too.
Damn, interesting.
That's cool.
That's like in full swing. Damn.
Ecuador to perform the first surgery ever with a robot.
Wow.
Holy cow.
My dad's famous. He's on like radio shows in
Oh,
English.
shit, what's your dad's name?
Yeah.
On YouTube. His name same as mine, Jose Espinel.
Oh, wow.
Damn. All right. Do
Yeah.
some Google searches.
Yeah. So he's on like YouTube videos about all different procedures. He's on radio shows. He's gone to.
Oh wow.
He's pretty up there. He prides himself in it. He studied 13 years in college to be what he's doing. So
yeah,
I look up to him a lot. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so
really
cool.
Man.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Damn, that's so cool.
We were driving in Columbus. This was when we were in high school, and we just turned to the first Spanish station we could find, and there it is. My dad's on a radio show getting interviewed.
Wow.
In Spanish. I'm like, that's my dad.
That's
Holy
super
shit,
fucking
man.
cool, man. Like I never knew that about you. See, you talk to people,
Yeah.
you learn things, and
Just learn more about me. My life's pretty interesting. There's a lot
sounds like
going on
it.
in my life.
It sounds like it, man. So I mean, I guess my next question to that, is, I mean, growing up with a dad that's, sounds pretty busy, if you ask me. I mean, did that for you make things more difficult, growing up, or do you think that, do you think that it was just like, regular, normal, or, I don't know. I mean, what's your impression of it?
At first, I guess I would say it was harder on my mom because she came to a country where she didn't know any English.
Right.
The main language is English. So she had a lot of troubles because I wasn't born yet. She was living by herself, pregnant with me. My dad, so when he first started, obviously he's an intern, so he's there. He had to literally sleep sometimes in a bed there in the hospital. So for my mom, I would say it was probably the hardest in the beginning. We had nothing in our house. We literally would use like pillows as, like my dad and I, we love soccer, so we used to use pillows as soccer goals. We like put them up against the wall, and we used to use those as soccer goals.
Right.
Oh, nice.
I guess for me, growing up first with him, I guess it was difficult at first not having my dad around because he was very busy.
Mm-hmm.
But as we moved, as I got older and he got less busy, I guess, because he wasn't an intern anymore, I was able to see him a lot more.
Yeah.
So I was able to have that father figure. I mean, he was always there for me too, even like when he got home late nights and I was probably still awake. We would chat and he would advise me on stuff and help me through my life. Yeah. He's done a lot for me. The busy man he has always been there for me, and I'm grateful to have him as a father.
Oh, that's wonderful, dude.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. I mean, some people, grow up with parents that are important people, and they don't, but it seems to me like you've been very understanding of the fact that he's an important guy. He's got a lot of responsibilities, you know what I mean? And so like if he is gone from time to time, that's why, so it makes a lot of sense. But
I always understood that from him too, because there was times when, like, even before I lived here in Atlanta, where I'm basically on my own now, he would have to go to a different state for a conference, and so he'd be gone for like a week or so, and he had to do that because this is for his career.
Exactly.
So, and he would be going to these conferences to expand his knowledge in his career and get more ahead in his career. So I always understood that he's put his whole heart and soul into this career. And so I understand that he's gonna have to go for time to further expand his career. So
I used to see a therapist for anxiety, depression, and stuff like that, and we used to kind of talk about things like I had certain friends that typically wouldn't make my life any easier from time to time, and we would talk about things like that, and what my therapist told me is, one of the most, I've always kind of taken this with me as one of the most important things to accept in life is that everybody shows love in different ways. You know what I mean? So if you have a dad who's important and he's a busy guy, that doesn't mean he doesn't love you and he's going to provide what he needs to for you. You know what I mean? It just maybe not in the ways that some people grow up with parents that are more emotionally available rather than financially available, or whatever the case may be. But I think it's an important thing to have in your mind. So I think that that's awesome that you were able to grow up and understand what was going on at all times, it seems like, and it's just awesome, man. I did not know that about your father. I'm glad I do now. But all that being said, is maybe having a dad who's busy and kind of important and needed in other places, is that part of what attributes to your love for things like Star Wars and Marvel? Was that kind of an escape for you when you were younger, or was that something that came later?
Now that you mentioned that, yes. So because he was always super busy and stuff, I had to find my own ways to entertain myself and kind of get myself busy and not think about that he's gone and that he won't be around me, especially when I was younger, because I always wanted my dad around me so we can like talk or watch soccer, because we used to watch soccer a lot together. So Pokemon and Marvel and Star Wars and all this other stuff, Disney classics, was just kind of my way to put myself in my own bubble and just find a way to enjoy, entertain myself, knowing that my dad's gone and isn't around me. So yeah, it's definitely been a big factor in my life in being able to further understand why my dad's gone and accept the fact that he's going to be super busy.
For sure, man. I would imagine so. I mean, I think that that's that is like, when you think about things like Star Wars, Marvel, Pokemon, whatever, it's some of the best escapism out there, you know what I mean, that you can find to provide for yourself. Like, I know for myself, like, I've told this story many times, probably on the show to people, but the day I watched Star Wars, I was 3 years old, you know what I mean, and I thought it changed my life when I saw it. Or actually, I was probably more like 4 or 5, but still, when I saw it, it was like life-changing, you know what I mean? I remember my mom renting it for me and putting it on, and then she had to rent, because I used to play with the toys, and I'll never forget the day I heard that music pop up on the screen, right? It was just like I dropped my Millennium Falcon and my eyes were just glued to the screen as a 4-year-old. I remember that moment. And then, my mom immediately after went back, because we lived down the road from Blockbuster at the time, and she went back and got me, Empire and Jedi, and I think I probably watched them all as a 4-year-old that day. But I don't know, do you remember the moment, or like the first thing, like whether it be Star Wars and Marvel, that you just picked up and you were kind of just diving into?
Yeah, so when I was in elementary school in Texas, I was walking through a store with my parents. I think it might have been a Target or something like that. And I look over and I see these Pokemon packs. I'm like, what is this? And my eyes were literally glued the moment the moment I got home and opened the first pack. My eyes were just glued, and my heart was just filled with.
Yeah.
And since then, I've just always been a fan of Pokemon and collecting cards. And with Star Wars as well, when I was a kid, my parents were trying to find other movies to broaden my horizon, because they used to just be Disney classics like, Lion King, Aladdin,
Samee.
all that.
I know. Hell yeah, brother.
So I remember walking through, I think it was a movie gallery, because that's what we had in Texas, in the area I lived in. It was like our Blockbuster.
Right.
I remember walking through and I see the complete saga, like all 6. And I was like, Mom, Dad, what's that? And like, I don't know, do you want to buy it? I was like, yeah, sure. So they bought me it. I got home, I sat down and watched all 6 movies.
Yeah.
And since I've been glued to Star Wars too. So
yeah.
What's so funny about that is, like, now technically they just bought you more Disney movies. They expanded your horizon by just, you know what I mean?
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Like, because same, like, when I think about it, like, I mean, Disney is like my thing. Like, that was it's hard for me to disassociate like my childhood childhood from Disney. Like they were just always the same thing, you know? So, but it's like, it's so funny now because like the other things that I loved, like Marvel, Spider-Man, and Star Wars are now just also Disney.
It's like, that's all I had outside of Disney.
Yeah.
But
now here we are.
I
remember when Lucasfilm was sold to Disney, my brother came into my room and we watched like a live stream video of George signing the things, and we were like, he looks so sad, but like we had a moment. Like, I will never forget that. Of like, well, Star Wars is Disney now.
I said when
it's all under one umbrella.
Well, I'll never forget when that was happening. You know, when Disney bought Lucasfilm, and I said I think it's a perfect marriage because the people that are fans of Disney stuff also happen to be fans of Star Wars 9 times out of 10. So it just made sense.
And they do go together, like they do go together, like the mythology and the grandness and the magic and the storytelling of Marvel as well. But of Star Wars, it matches the Disney brand.
Those two are like perfect marriages to Disney.
Exactly.
They fit together so good.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I just think that they're incredible. But yeah, no, that's funny. You were talking about the when you saw the collection and your folks got it for. I remember the moment for me that was similar to that is when I saw a Darth Vader piggy bank in a Spencer's Gifts. When I was a child, and my mother, I begged her to buy it for me. I was like, that guy is cool, I want that. And she got it for me, and like you would press the button and you go, I'll never forget this day. It'll always be, you'd hit it once, you go impressive, you hit it again, you go most impressive, then you hit it the third time and it was like, but you're not a Jedi yet, and then it would do the dun 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 dun, dun. I just thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world. But that's so cool. That's the moment that changed my life. I was probably 3 years old at that time, and that was my first introduction. And then for some reason I ended up acquiring a Millennium Falcon toy and a 3PO toy and just all these other toys somehow I ended up acquiring. And then Ma was like, oh, he's got to see the movies now, because he's been playing with the toys. So she called Blockbuster and asked him, what's the first Star Wars movie? She didn't know. So they at that time it was only the 3 that were out. Yeah.
Now that you mentioned toys, I remember too as a kid, I used to play a lot with Legos. I used to build all kinds of stuff because that was another form of entertainment for myself, was to be in my own world and build these Legos and play with them, like if I was in my own bubble. And I remember my parents bought me the Millennium Falcon. I sat there for the entire day with a smile on my face building the Millennium Falcon. It was finally complete. It filled my heart with so much warmth. It was amazing.
Yeah, my first Lego set, and this is another thing that very much changed my life and the way I look at film and everything. But the Harry Potter Lego sets. It was like probably my first big Lego set was because I remember they would come out and you'd have to get them because it was like another part of Hogwarts that you were building onto.
Right.
And then they kind of kept doing that throughout like I think first 3 movies, and I think that they just kind of stopped. They made Harry Potter Legos, but it wasn't like you got to like build onto the Hogwarts castle. But I remember that thing. I had to get like these green platforms to put it on just so it could hold the castle together. It was like 3 big like platforms. That thing was freaking cool. But yeah, man, same as you, dude. Like it's crazy. I was into like Legos and I loved Pokemon.
I really want that. Have you seen the Disney Castle one that's like 3,000 pieces and it's huge? I want that so bad. I might ask for it for Christmas this year because it's getting kind of ridiculous. Like I want it so bad.
Same. That's already on my Christmas list.
Yeah. Like as I say it, I'm like, I should text my mom right now and tell her that's what I want. Because that's what I want.
They hang in my room.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine like right there, just a castle?
Right there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It would be perfect.
I also remember playing Lego Star Wars Complete Saga on the DS.
Oh,
I still have a DS.
Yeah.
I still have my DS Lite and it still works. I play that stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I love the one I remember is, I mean, I always played it on the Xbox. I remember Lego Star Wars on there. And I still have it. And they're coming out with the Skywalker Saga now, the whole 9 movie. I can't wait, man. That's going to be great. Yeah.
My brother played Lego Star Wars a lot, and like I would just kind of watch and hang out and play a little bit, but like it was so much fun. Like I even loved just like watching it because I'm like, I love this. It's so much fun.
Well, what always made me mad with that is the fact that Harry Potter, right? This is a good example of this. Like, they made games that were like based on their movies, so you would actually like play like the Sorcerer's Stone movie because they had the Sorcerer's Stone game. They would do that, so on and so forth. With Star Wars, while they had some very great games, like LucasArts used to be the king of games back in the day, in my opinion, and they still do make some fun ones.
Some good ones.
Yeah, but still, what made me mad is they would never make games that are just based off their movies. So the Lego game was like the closest thing you had to that. Like Lord of the Rings did that, but for some reason, Star Wars never got on board with that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, gaming, I'm sure, had to be a big escape for you, Jose, as well. I'm sure.
I remember, you know what, and I'll never forget the very first M-rated game that I got on my 360. This was when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I went to a GameStop with my mom. I wasn't old enough to buy one yet. I walk into the store, and I see, I think it was Black Ops 2. And I go up and I'm like, Mom, can you give me that game? She's like, sure. Bang, she bought it, and I just sat there and played like all night because it was a weekend, and I would just sit and play all night. And since then, I'll play, and I also used to play like all the FIFAs. I used to play like all different kinds of games on the 360, and I'll never forget the impact that gaming has had in my life, especially nowadays too, because it's a way that I can escape from the real world, because I have friends that I still play with from high school. So I'll never forget, what gaming's done for me, especially nowadays.
Right.
So much.
Yeah, exactly.
I play games on my phone too. I'll play, like COD Mobile, Clash Royale, games like that. Nice. Like, it's so much fun.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I remember Black Ops 2 was the shit back in the day. I remember you had to pre-order that to get the Nuketown map right at launch. I remember that. But yeah, it was like after Black Ops 2, I feel like Call of Duty just kind of fell off for myself anyway. Like, I like the new one fine, but they just haven't been as good. Black Ops 2 was
that Warzone game, the free Warzone game that they dropped during quarantine.
Yeah, it's good.
Was the best thing they've probably dropped in a while, because that's what I play with my friends nowadays. Is we just almost every night we just sit down and we just grind on War.
Right, and I was really happy it was free because I mean, if you're gonna make games that are like incredibly stale after a while, like Call of Duty, it can get incredibly stale after a little while. I feel like it's the problem. So if you're gonna make that, at least make it free. I mean, I thought that was like one of the best things that they've done.
Like Fortnite Battle Royale, which is free, and all these other Battle Royale games that are free. So I mean, it was smart that Call of Duty brought out with their own Warzone Battle Royale game that's free. No one would have got it, and it would have just not been worth releasing it. So
yeah, great business. I mean, really, it is. It's great business. And Fortnite, I mean, like or like PUBG or whatever Battle Royale. I mean, the thing with Call of Duty and that is like Call of Duty's graphics are so much better.
Warzone's graphics are so much better than like Fortnite, PUBG's. It's because COD knows how to do it. They're superior.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they have the money and the tech, and I mean, there's a reason that like people always flock back to Call of Duty, and that's because they do know what they're doing. They're not idiots, but it's just like it's crazy to me. Like, I don't know if you remember this at all, because like people for a while there like flocked over to Battlefield, and it was like Battlefield was like.
I did for a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
When it was like Black Ops 3 was, I didn't buy it, but I played it at a friend's house, and I was like, oh, what is this?
Exactly.
So I went over to Battlefield. I had Battlefield 4 on my Xbox One S. It was a bundle. Oh, my parents got it for my birthday, and I remember just grinding that game. I was like, oh yeah, this is so much better than Black Ops 3. But then, I kind of got bored of that game, and then during quarantine, I was running out of games to play because I was just replaying like Fortnite and stuff like that. And then I see that COD dropped this free Battle Royale game. I'm like, wait, what? So I downloaded it, and basically for the whole quarantine, because it was like during the summer, I just nothing but Warzone. It was just like all night. For just that game.
Well, the problem with Battlefield is that they want it to be more realistic, and I think that they got there. You know what I mean? Like they definitely they made it more realistic, but the problem with that is the more realistic you get, the harder the game gets. So with Call of Duty, you can kind of sit back and relax and have a good time.
No, don't even get me started on this Warzone, because nowadays these sweats and hackers that it just most of the time isn't even really that fun anymore. But I still play.
That's true. Yeah.
it's still fun to play, with my friends, especially with my friends. We just have a laugh and a good time, even though there are always sweats and hackers nowadays.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the problem with Call of Duty. It's just they grow stale after a while. There's like nothing incredibly fresh about them. You know what I mean? They just tend to be repetitive and stale but like I said, because they kind of have this like sit back and relax type nature to them, everybody just kind of flocks back to Call of Duty at one point or another.
Because they get bored of all the other games that they're trying out, that they just always come back to.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. I did get a battle royale recently for the Oculus though, called Population 1.
I think I've seen that one. I think I've seen it clips of people playing it. It looks like fun.
Dude, it's so freaking cool. Like, it's hard, don't get me wrong, like it's difficult, but that's one of the things I like about the Oculus is the online community is so much better than like if you were playing on an Xbox or something like that, because I think the reason why
you don't want to mess with COD lobbies. They will rinse you.
Exactly. Yeah. It's I don't have a lot of 12-year-olds swearing at me on the Oculus, because I think the reason why is because right. Everybody is having a difficult time with it, or just as difficult a time. Like everybody's skill level when it comes to the Oculus is exactly the same. Like, because you're not hackers. What's that?
Stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no hackers too. Right, that's the other thing. Yeah, you can't like go in there and just hack it.
You're not on like a server, right?
Well, you are, but it's like you are on a server,
a different type of thing.
Yeah, like with the Xbox, there's so much more you can access. I feel like as far as like getting loopholes to hack things, and with the Oculus, I felt like the online communities have been super chill. And like I'll tell you what, there's a game I was telling Samee a little bit about this. It's kind of like soccer and zero gravity, but it's called Echo VR. It's free on the Oculus, and before you even jump into their online lobbies, you have to like do like 100 different agreements to make sure, pretty much saying that you're not going to be a dick. So that's like the great thing about like Oculus. So like Oculus is really trying to cover their ass to make sure that their online communities are very standard. So you have to sign a bunch of agreements before you get into a game, basically saying that you're not going to be a dick. And that's what I love about it, is like if other games did this, then it would just be so smart business wise, or if other consoles did that. Because
that's the thing. The thing with console is that I feel like the reason why there are so many hackers is because they're the ones that bring in the money.
Yeah,
everyone's gonna be watching these hackers on like, oh well, how do you do it? How do you do that? It's just it brings them the money, which I guess for them is good, but for the people who are playing the game, it's not that good.
Well, look at what's going on with the PS5 right now with the scalpers, and PS5 or Sony just seems to be letting them get away with that. Like, there should be a system in place from day one to like not let hackers and scalpers hit the button to get the PS5. So they can,
But what about all the money they would lose?
Exactly. That's the reason, though. They don't care. They just want their money.
The rub.
They want their money. They don't care. And that's what pisses me off about these consoles. I'll tell you, Oculus is the future. We're not going to be playing console games here before you know it. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. In probably like 5-10 years, consoles are going to be dead.
Well, it's either they're going to be dead or they're going to have to find ways, which PlayStation's already started to do, to make their own VR systems. And so
Xbox will, like Xbox and I guess Microsoft and Sony will probably like stop bringing out consoles and just start bringing out VR headsets.
Well, they're going to have to, I'm telling you, because this is a whole new medium here.
Battle Royale has a whole new set. It's good, bro. Imagine Warzone on VR headsets. Well,
that's essentially what this Population 1 is. Everything about it is just like Warzone. The graphics are just as good, if not better, because it looks more realistic anyway when you're in there. And you're actually,
it feels like you're actually there.
Right. Yeah, so, and it's like, I'll tell you this. I was going to bring this up with you on Star Wars Sunday, but the first game I played on this thing was Vader Immortal, the Star Wars game.
I played it on my friend's Oculus.
Is it not fucking, like, mind-blowing? It's...
Bro, so mind-blowing. Oh my, like really, like doing the lightsaber, like you actually have the lightsaber in your hand.
I know, that's what I was telling Sammy.
I know, like what you said.
so much fun.
Yeah, unbelievable, dude. Like, and like I try to describe this to people who are Star Wars fans, and they don't really understand it. Like, I think that they're like, oh yeah, cool, but they don't like really get like the fact that like it is as real as it like it's like, oh my gosh, stunning. And like, this is a whole new way. You probably agree with me, Jose. This is like a whole new way to tell stories too. I feel like with the VR.
People who aren't really into Star Wars, who are trying to get into it, if they play these VR games based on Star Wars, they'll have a whole better way of, because some people, I can understand some people don't like sitting through like 2-hour movies because they get bored. But if you can play VR games and have those same stories told, that it'll be an easier way to get people more into Star Wars.
That's exactly what it is, though. It's like you are now a character in the movie, and you get to take part in that. It's incredible. And like, I mean, you can probably attest to this. The moment that where Vader walks in and like he comes up to you, that's like, he's fucking scary, dude. Like, he's a big dude.
I was shivering like in real life.
I know.
Like, Darth Vader's like right there. What do I do?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you. Real quick. I've met Darth Vader and Kylo Ren at Disneyland at their meet and greets, and I will tell you, they are very intimidating. Like at their Disneyland meet and greets. So I'm like just trying to imagine like seeing them in a virtual reality world. It's like that times 10. Yeah, because it's scary. Like it's way scary. Like I did not think I was gonna be scared. I'm like, it's Darth Vader and Kylo Ren. Like I know them, and then they're in front of me, and I'm like, oh my god, what do I say? What do I do?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you this too about this whole VR business, because Disney just made their realistic lightsaber that they're gonna sell at Disney for probably what, like $1,000 to get this thing,
at least.
And it's like, why the fuck would I get that now? I have a VR set where I can have a lightsaber dojo actually be in the action, and it feels just as real. You know what I mean? As actually
for way cheaper, probably.
Exactly, it's $300 for the Quest 2. You know what I mean? And
I bet you that lightsaber is gonna be like $2,000, $3,000 easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I get that now? Once I found out like how realistic this VR thing actually is, it's like I don't even know why I would buy a realistic lightsaber. I can use this anytime, and I'm actually in the action in the movies. I mean, there's parts in that game too, man. You could speak to this as well, where you're like climbing shit and it's freaky, or there's like a creature coming at you, and it's so fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, it is very crazy. I remember the first time I played it, when my friend brought it over, he's like, "Have you ever played Vader Immortal?" I'm like, "No." You want to try? I was like, "Yeah." So I got in there, and the whole storyline, and I was like climbing this thing, and all of a sudden I look up and something's like trying to fall and hit me, and I'm like, "Ah, crap!"
Yeah.
And I was like creatures trying to come at me, trying to like kill me, whatever. I'm like, I was like lightsaber trying to like kill him.
Yeah.
So it's very realistic, and I can assure you that VR is going to be the future for gaming. It's not going to be PC or console. It's going to be all VR.
Yeah, I mean, it's the new medium to tell stories, I think. I really do. I think like it really is like it's better than watching movies. It really is. That's the other thing. You want to watch a movie, you're in the theater. You know what I mean? You can sit there in a movie theater.
The past, because you have your own home theater.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, why am I going to use my TV ever again? You know what I mean? I mean, given there's some things I can't watch, you know what I mean, in the theater setting, but that'll change. You watch, everything's going to be available to watch that way. Like your entire collection somehow, some way is going to be available to watch.
VR is going to be the thing for not just games, movies, TV shows, events, even like sports events and beauty events and all that kind of other stuff. You're not going to need to, watch it on TV. You can just literally watch it on a VR headset, and you can be courtside at a basketball game.
Yeah.
Instead of having to watch it on TV, which feels so realistic because you're like right there. It's like the players are like right there. Like, oh my gosh. Like,
right.
Incredible. Yeah, incredible. I'm still blown away by it. Like, again, like I said, it's a $300 system. It should probably be $800 when you think about everything.
It should be way more. Like,
yeah.
That thing could be in the grands of anything, really, because it's crazy.
Yeah, I always think to myself every time I have it on, like, how crazy is it that I'm alive for this? You know what I mean? It's like, this is groundbreaking shit that we just never thought would be available. We're living in the future. It's unbelievably cool, man, and I'm excited to see what comes next. I mean, I think I want all Lucasfilm games to come out on the VR, like on the Oculus. Like, that's how I want to play them now.
The old Star Wars Battlefront 2. on the VR
Oh my
headset.
god, dude, that would be the dream. Or Republic Commando. Republic Commando, I would love, dude.
That was when I had the PS2, which was when I was in like elementary school. That was like one of the first games I ever played on my PS2, and I remember sitting there with. I had a friend from Texas. He used to come to my house. We'd just sit there and just play that game all night.
Yeah.
Because I so much. Because I remember you had to grind to like unlock like Skywalker and Empress Sidious and all those other characters.
Oh yeah, you really do have to grind. I still play that one to this day. I got the re-release. Well, it's not really a remaster. It's just like they re-put it out on the Xbox. So I play that version of it, and still addicting, man. Still very addicting. Starting back from the beginning to try to unlock all the characters.
Marvel starts coming out with their own games on VR headset. That'd be insane.
Oh my gosh, dude! Yeah, I was looking to see if they already had, and I just didn't know about it. Because I mean that was like the next thing for me. I was like, I want Marvel games, I want Game of Thrones games. There's a Walking Dead one on there that everybody says is like unbelievably cool.
Oh, I bet it would be.
Yeah,
you see a zombie like coming right at you.
Yeah, it's a little bit more on the pricier side, so I haven't gotten it yet. But
I would imagine so.
They also released Zombieland one, and I read the reviews for it. I can't wait to try it. It looks like incredible, like just as incredible as the Walking Dead one. And
the games I'd want on the VR would probably be like Minecraft. That'd be pretty cool to like do like a Minecraft on VR. Like if you're actually there like mining stuff and attacking like the mobs and stuff, and then also some kind of like Pokemon game where you're actually like running around, throwing like catching Pokemon and stuff like that.
Dude, I'm telling you, like I'm not a big Minecraft fan, but if it came out on VR, I would become a big Minecraft fan because that just sounds incredible. Like
it anything would grow so much because Minecraft's already popular.
Yeah.
Imagine if it came out on VR, that thing would grow even more because there's so much you can do on that game.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude, 100%. I think that
GTA 5 on the VR would be sick too.
Oh my god, I can't wait till they start making shit like that, dude. Like
because right now they've got the what's it called, the role play. Everyone's doing role play right now. Where you go on like a modded server and it's like you're actually there, like someone's actually a cop, someone's actually a nurse and stuff like that. That on VR would be like so insane. Everyone would be on that.
Yeah, well, I looked into it. They are coming out with like more open world games like that. They actually, I think Rockstar is making a game that's similar for the VR, if I'm not mistaken. So, before you know it, we will have it. It's insane to think about, but it's like
I played a version. Now that I think about it, I played a version of it in Russia. When I went for World Soccer World Cup, they had this VR stand at this kind of like area where everyone's kind of can just like socialize and eat. They had this VR headset and I put it on and it was like if I was actually playing some kind of like GTA game. I was able to like throw grenades, pull out guns and shoot and all this other stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Dude. Yeah, they're even integrating technology now that like you can actually like they're gonna make it to where you can start smelling shit too. That's the other thing that blows my mind. Like
that's a whole nother level.
Well, they've already integrated like temperature control on there. Because there's games where like it's not like so vivid, but you could definitely like tell a difference. Like the new Star Wars one that came out, I started playing it. It's Galaxy's Edge, Tales from Galaxy's Edge, and which I think is a really good business move because it gets people to care about the park. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, try it on VR, you'll care more about seeing this park and everything. And plus, they're trying to make like a whole book series on Galaxy's Edge and everything. But there's a part where you go outside. And like I felt it got a little bit more chilly, and I guess they use like a similar technology on it. I was looking this up because I was trying to figure out how that was like virtually possible, and I guess they use like a similar technology than what they put in your refrigerators. You know, and that's crazy to me that they can actually do that.
So like technology these days is just advancing at record paces. They're coming out with is just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we really are in the future. It's insanity, dude. Like, I didn't realize until I got this headset. Like, I didn't realize how in the future we were. Then I put this thing on and tried it, and I was like, oh my god, this is.
Well, we're so lucky to live in this age because
we are, man.
It's an insane time.
We are, man. It's like people like even like this. Like people bitch about like the new Star Wars movies and stuff, and that's cool. If you don't like them, you don't like them. But it baffles me. It's like, but guys, like. If we were kids, we would have went insane for these movies. We wouldn't have
oh my God.
nitpicked them so much. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I always think back to that when people bitch about like Falcon Winter Soldier or whatever they bitch about. You know, I had nitpicks with that in WandaVision as well. Don't get me wrong. It's just part of what I do is I critique things and I get that. But
if I was under the age of 14, I would not give it a second thought. I'd just be like, this is awesome. I love everything.
Yeah. You wouldn't care about like these details that we care
would
about.
Not have cared at all. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
the thought wouldn't even pop into my mind to be like, well, the social commentary here is a little heavy and it's with the action, I don't think it's leveled quite as well. Like that doesn't even enter my brain.
You wouldn't care. You wouldn't give a shit. Yeah, exactly. You would just be like, if we were kids and we were told that we were gonna get 6 hour Star Wars movies on TV, who would give a shit? We would be like, we're gonna eat that up. We get more of that every week. That's like made for us. That's made for our childhood selves.
Okay, and that's like to me now, honestly. Like
yeah. And that's the thing too. Like that's the thing to remember that like yes, like there are adult things about Star Wars and Marvel and Disney and all of these things, but like they're for children.
Yeah.
They were always meant for children. They were never meant. They just happened to. Adults just happen to also like them. They're made for children.
Yeah. It's not rated R. It's not rated R for
it's true.
It's like this genuinely, like I had a moment the first time someone was like, I forget who it was on YouTube where someone was like, guys, it's a story about space wizards for children. It's about space wizards for children.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. Because I mean, like during Last Jedi and Solo times, I was pretty dedicated to like, I don't like some stuff, but I'm like, it's a story about space wizards for children, and I'm getting mad.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, the period of time after I've seen the movies and everything, I become an adult. But when I get into that theater, I'm 12 years old again. Like that's just a fact. Like I'm always going to look at it from that perspective because I always think to myself, this is, I mean, I just could never dreamed of, Star Wars films with this type of technology or Marvel shows that are, at the high production that we have or whatever the case may be that we're getting nowadays. It's like, I always try to go into this as a 12-year-old, you know what I mean? Like I always try to like look at my childhood self and be like, think about it for a second. How would you feel if you were watching this as a kid? Because that's who it was made for. It was made for kids. It's not made for me.
Just imagine we didn't have like Marvel and Star Wars and all those other Disney movies growing up. Like imagine they just weren't invented like at this time. Imagine they were invented like so much further in the future. Like what would we have? Like when I think about it, Disney and Star Wars and all this other stuff is just my childhood, and I will never ever forget. Yeah. Always when you said always go into these movies realizing and thinking, look, I need to go back into my mindset when I was younger, when I used to watch these and love them. Yeah. And just keep that same mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the second I see like the Disney logo with like the fireworks going off and Wish Upon a Star or A Long Time Ago and A Galaxy Far, Far Away and like even the Marvel logo and the music starts going, like I become a different person.
Yep,
like for the next 2 hours, I'm a different person. I'm 12-year-old me again. Yeah. And that's all the thoughts are filtered through 12-year-old me.
Yeah. That's what I always say to Rise of Skywalker, because my problems with that movie. I have a lot. But I always tell people, yes, I do like the movie, and that's the reason why. It's a very personal thing with me, it's like, because I know if I was a kid, I wouldn't give a shit, and I'm just having fun with it that way. It's like as many problems as I have with it, and all the problems that I recognize, and there are many, I don't care. I'm a kid. It's like I'm a big child when it comes to that. And so for me on a personal level, as much as I would have rather had the Duel of the Fates script adapted.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, did you finish reading that, by the way, Jose?
I did. The ending.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I know. I want to read it. We should read it together.
It's long. It's 131 pages, but it's worth.
We can get through that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. If they would have made the 9th movie like the script, totally different movie. Would have been so much.
Anything other than what we got, I'm like, I'm open to it. What else you got? I'm like, not what we got. I'll take it. Anything else, I'm cool.
Honestly, is that your final answer?
Honestly.
Thank you for playing.
Same
Please
with like
any.
I'm like, anybody else have any other ideas for how Han Solo got his name? I'll take anything. I'll take any other ideas. My God.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the Duel of the Fates is like, I mean that ending, man. I mean, we could talk about that real quick here because, that shit where because what you got is first of all they're going to Mortis, which Sammy, you'll get into Mortis when we get through Clone Wars a little bit more. Okay. But when they're going to Mortis and that final battle is about to take place, the Duel of the Fates, I guess, between Rey and Kylo. It's fucking brutal, dude. Like he blinds her. He blinds her, and
the fuck?
JJ blinds her.
Yeah, like Kanan Jarrus in Rebels, he just takes his lightsaber and blinds her. It's like, oh my gosh! And then when you get like the fact that that's the moment where Leia decides to pass through. Like JJ clearly took that from the script because when you get that's the moment where Leia decides to pass through, and then that's what makes Kylo realize because he's ready to kill her, and that's what makes Kylo realize like I'm gonna put all the life essence that I was taking from her back into her, and I'm gonna give her some of mine so she can heal, and that's how it ends. That's a good ending right there to me.
Bro, probably if they were to put that in the movie.
Yeah.
I love the movie so much more. It actually probably would have made me like bust a tear.
I wonder if that was Disney's creative gripe, is the fact that it was violent. Because I mean these movies have been violent though, so I don't know. Because this one was like,
but I mean, like I gotta say, like I was pretty shocked when you said that because I was like, she's the hero. Like, can you imagine if like I don't know, Captain America just got blinded? You'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
If Luke Skywalker just got not randomly, but just got randomly blinded, that's a big thing. That's a big thing to do to your
I'm guessing
hero.
It also probably would have been a little too violent for kids. I don't know. That's probably why they adapted that way, but I mean
maybe because I don't know. They let Revenge of the Sith is pretty gory. I always thought, I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with this new stuff is they never want to get on that level again for some reason.
Here's a thought. Yeah. What if they released gorier versions, but for like exclusives? I don't know. I'm just trying to see
the true adult version of Star Wars.
Like if they did like the actual Duel of Fate script, like an actual movie of it, but just kind of like
right.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Oh, me too, dude. And the other great thing is the fact that they paid off Luke's death. Him coming back as a Force ghost was paid off so much better because Kylo is about to basically like take his lightsaber to unleash the Force from Mortis. Basically, he's about to go break it open and get all the Force power that he needs, and he goes to take the lightsaber to it, and then Luke catches it with his hand as a Force ghost. Like, what's fucking cooler than that? That's how you pay off a death of Luke. People wouldn't have been as mad because then they would have been like, oh, cool. Luke couldn't have done that if he was alive, but because he's a Force ghost, it got paid off. You know what I mean? I connected that, and I was like, see, they had it figured out. There was a plan, and they just went, whoop. Sorry, no plan anymore. It makes me mad every time, but yeah. Sammy, let's go ahead and get to some news. What's on the table today?
All right. Well, first, I was going to start off with, we have an official trailer for Monsters at Work, the new sequel series on Disney Plus of Monsters, Inc., which is coming out very soon. I think in like July, I want to say, maybe sooner. It comes out very, very soon. And I mean, I said before, Monsters Inc. is my number one favorite Pixar movie. Yeah. The top three are Monsters Inc., Inside Out, and Coco, but Monsters Inc. is just it. That movie, to me, like changed my life as a child. I was a different person before I saw that movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I like Monsters University. It was fine. It's definitely like in the low. It's probably in the bottom 5 if I were to rank all the Pixar movies for me. But that's not to say that I hate it, because I mean, it's fine. But I really like this trailer, though. I think that its trailer so far, it looks like it could be a lot better than Monsters University. I like where they're going with it. I like the whole laugh kind of thing. I am a bit mad, though, I will say real quick, because when we first talked about this story, I was so excited because they said it was going to pick up directly where Monsters Inc. ends. And any good Pixar fan knows Monsters Inc. ends with Sully seeing Boo again, maybe, or entering through Boo's door. You don't know, you just hear a girl say kitty.
Yeah.
And so I got so excited and hyped because I was like, we're finally gonna know. We're finally gonna know what happens. They're gonna follow through. But I mean, they still might, but according to this trailer, it looks like it's going to start a little before, actually, so it looks like it ends where Waternoose gets taken to jail.
Yeah.
And it's the building up to, the laughterness taking over Monsters Inc. But I'm really into this. Again, like I said, I'm like gatekeeper for Monsters Inc. It's my favorite Pixar movie, and I'm kind of into it. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna hate me. I'm more partial to I'm more partial to Monsters University myself.
It's all right. It's fine.
I really love that movie when I saw it. But anyway, yeah, this I'm into. I like the franchise in general. I like both films a lot. So I love them both, and I think it's a good story, and I'm just excited for more of it. Especially so now that we're gonna get a series, that's great, because we were just talking about this, about how,
and the whole cast is coming back to the whole original cast.
Exactly. I mean, you got Billy Crystal and John Goodman, and it's like, this looks great. I'm excited for it. What do you think, Jose?
Yeah, no, I've always been a fan of Monsters Inc. That's another movie that I grew up as a kid. That and Toy Story, the first one. So for them to finally come out with a show for this franchise, I'm definitely looking. I didn't know that they were going to come out with this. This is literally the first time I hear about it. But now that you say this, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Monsters Inc. Literally up there with one of my favorite Pixar movies of all time. So
nice, yeah. No, I agree. It's one of the best ones. I think both of them are two of the best Pixar movies for sure. I think Incredibles and Toy Story I put over them, but I do love Monsters Inc.
I
think Incredibles is probably my favorite Pixar movie.
Incredibles is up there.
That's a fair pick.
In the top 10.
I think I even put not Finding Dory, but Finding Nemo above Monsters Inc. But...
Love Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's too many. There's like Finding Nemo and Incredibles are like as a kid. Those were the that I used to watch all the time.
I also really love Cars. I'm the one person.
You're the one who likes Cars.
I'm the one who, just the first one. The first one I think is so good. Like, I think the first one is so underrated. The second one is a piece of hot fucking garbage that can burn and die. And the third one's all right. The third one I put with Monsters University. Third one, I'm not mad that it exists. It's fine. It's all right. But yeah, I always forget about Cars when I think about Pixar, and then I'm like, God, but I love that movie.
Owen Wilson as Lightning McQueen is
iconic.
Yeah,
I mean, it's become a meme, but it's iconic.
No one else could play Lightning McQueen better than Owen.
No one else. I totally agree.
No, I like Cars. I never understood why they rushed that franchise. Like, it seems like that's the one that they wanted to.
It made so much money. It sold so much toys. It sold all of the toys.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I had little Lightning McQueen, Maker and Sally, and
I have a little Cruz Ramirez from the third one, because obviously I had to represent. They named a character after my heritage. I had to turn out, but I love that character of Cruz Ramirez. I have her Funko Pop.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah,
it's great. What's next?
So next we have a couple of video game trailers. So the first one we have is for Evil Dead the game. Yes. Again, I've never seen Evil Dead, not a big video game person, but I did watch these trailers and they all seemed pretty cool. But I mean we have an Evil Dead trailer, the game, also for Black Panther War for Wakanda, and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora.
Yeah,
we got trailers for all of those.
So first of all, I better start with the Avatar one because it's VR, and obviously that's exciting me these days. That's going to be amazing. I mean,
looks cool.
It's going to be incredible to walk through Pandora, obviously, and be a part of that world. And also, it just makes sense for VR. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that just VR and Avatar, I mean, just go together like peanut butter and jelly. What's that?
Flying on one of those weird dragon things, whatever they are, that'd be
they had that in the game too. The trailer, they had that. It's gonna be awesome.
It's like, here's notes at not I've only been to Disneyland, but I know at Disney World they have like the land they have a whole land that's Pandora.
Yeah,
have you been there?
I've been there, and I did the 4K,
was,
4D
oh my God.
ride. Bro, honestly,
was it incredible?
So
I can't find any video of it on YouTube. I've seen like the riverboat ride. I've watched a ride through of that, but there's nothing of like the VR ride because I guess everyone's just like no one wants to film it.
It feels like you're actually riding one of those dragons because you can feel it breathing between your legs. Like,
right.
You feel their heart beating and everything, bro.
Oh my God, it looks so
like
cool.
We waited like 2.5 hours for that ride because it was kind of like new at the time when but it was so worth the wait.
It's one of the most popular like attractions there. Like fast passes for that are like scarce.
It's such a realistic ride because it feels like you're actually riding one of those things. It's so much fun.
Right. I know that like everyone says that ride is like one of the best rides Imagineering has ever come up with, and I'm like, it just looks so cool. Yeah. So I guess this might be like a little miniature version of that.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, as far as the other two trailers go, the Wakanda one, it looks great because they looks like they modeled this Black Panther after Chadwick, which I'm sure was on purpose. Right. So I was really happy to see that. It's like a really great way to honor him is to come out with a game that's based on his version of that character. Of T'Challa. So yeah, I'm excited to play that. I mean, the Black Panther, after seeing that movie, it's my favorite MCU movie still, and after seeing it, he's also become one of my favorite MCU characters. And yeah, I can't wait to play a game involving him. Now, Evil Dead, I'll tell you what, this is the thing that excites me the most though. Because, okay, so first of all, this trailer was amazing. Like, it was just so fucking cool. And, like, Bruce Campbell's narration was hilarious and incredible. And just if you see this trailer and you have not seen the Evil Dead movies at all or anything, this should motivate you to watch them, because it's like everything about this is like what the Evil Dead franchise is, and that's what I loved about this trailer. It's kooky, it's quirky, but it's also very heavy when it comes to the horror elements. So yeah, we've been begging for an Evil Dead game forever now, us fans. So the fact that they're finally getting around to it, they used to have some old ones on the Xbox, but this looks far more well designed than those were, because those games were pretty wonky. I'm gonna be honest with you. And so the fact that you get to play as any of the Evil Dead characters, like they have them all in there, is super cool. Yeah, I'm excited to just play as Bruce Campbell, or I'm sorry, Ash, and go through and just kill off Deadites. I think that's going to be like the big appeal to this, and you can also play as a Deadite and then also try to get the characters too. So I like that they got that reversal going on there. So that should be a lot of fun. I enjoyed that a lot, and I thought, yeah, trailer was hilarious. I mean, Bruce Campbell was so great narrating it. But I don't know, Jose, of the Avatar, Wakanda, and Evil Dead, which one of these do you think sounds most appealing?
Well, so I haven't seen any Evil Dead, like, anything. So
yeah, you and Samee both.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, I did watch the trailer for the Black Panther one, Wakanda, and that game looks amazing. I love that they paid tribute to Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's sad death, but he will always live on forever as Black Panther. And
100%.
I'm definitely, just to be able to play as him in that game is an honor in and of itself. And
yeah,
I already know this game is going to be insane, and I'm going to love it. The Avatar, if I had a VR headset, I would 100% get it, because like I said, I've done the ride, so I can only assume that it's going to be something like that.
Yeah.
Because plus Avatar and VR is like probably the perfect match you could ever think of.
Yeah.
The whole movie, like, you can just being able to see what they see is going to be insane, and I already know this game is going to pop up, and it's crazy.
For sure, man. I agree with you for sure. Yeah. What's next?
So this is our last story, and it's a weird one. But so NBC has been in production for its upcoming competition show, Ultimate Slip and Slide, right? And they're filming, but it has now gone on an indefinite pause, because up to about 40 crew members have fallen violently ill with diarrhea. They all have diarrhea. Unclear as to why, but yep. Slip and slide, big slip and slide show might be on pause for a while due to some illness. That was the news. I was sent this article, so here we are. Don't blame me.
How does this happen? That's what I want to get to the bottom of. Like how did that even first of all, I can't imagine the just being on that set to do that show. Like because I mean, like that's funnier than fuck though. I mean, and how does that happen? And like how many people did you say like were having
40
it?
They said about 40.
Don't you think after 5 you would say something's wrong here, we should pull it?
Say yeah, we would surely stop and be like, all right, what's going on? Assess what's like
if there was even two, like if there was two people who had like extreme diarrhea in the same area, I'd be like, okay,
we need to
that's a coincidence and we need to look into that because we can't let this get bigger than that. And then they didn't.
Yeah.
40.
It's unbelievable. Like it just seems like very irresponsible on the part of the network, in my opinion. And like it's just like how does this happen at all? Like it's crazy to me.
The article says people were collapsing. They were being forced to run into porta potties while on set.
Okay, so it's a slip and slide.
And imagine too, do you know what I mean when like you're outside in a pool and you have to use like kind of a weird bathroom and it's just not like you're dripping wet in chlorine and you're in this weird bathroom and it's just not good. Imagine being in a porta potty, you're going on the slip and slide all day, you have massive diarrhea and you have to use a porta potty.
Yeah, so it's
unhuman.
How does that happen though? Like I'm confused with the concept because it's a slip and slide show, right? So they're slip and sliding.
I think I might have found the answer.
Yeah.
I'm reading this article, right? And it says here that at least one crew member tested positive for the parasite Giardia. Or Giardia, whatever it's called. This can cause frequent uncomfortable diarrhea.
I never heard of that.
I think that since he contracted it, he must have spread it to everyone, and so that's what.
So it was like a virus or something, or stomach flu.
A parasite that he, I guess, spread to almost every single.
That's fucking nuts, though. But yeah, I just don't understand. Like, how did they get away with 40? Because you would think, like, after 5,
you infected 40 fucking people. Yeah.
And it says here that parasite is easily spread through contaminated water or food sources.
Oh my god!
So so they're all drinking the same water.
Well, maybe the water they were it's slip and slide, right? Maybe it was contaminated. Like the water.
True, maybe.
That's crazy to me. Like okay, so my guess is this is some type of competition, right? Like show where they have to like go down a slip and slide, right? Okay, so like they let 40 contestants go down a slip and slide and just explode diarrhea all over the fucking place, all over the equipment.
They just let it happen. It wasn't until the 39th person they were like, guys, maybe we should look into this. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
let's pause for a moment.
At number 39, they were like, okay, I'm telling you right now, if one more does it.
There's one more. We're done.
When they're like, all right, no, yep, we're done. Cut.
Yeah. It's like, oh shit, someone else. We're done.
Oh shit, literally.
Like, oh shit, Mark just threw up. We're out. We're done.
I want to know how many contestants they actually had because, if it was like 80, right? They were probably making bets on each one, right? Like, okay, is this one gonna have the diarrhea?
Imagine they bet real money too. It's like, all right, how much you want to bet this person right here gets diarrhea?
I bet you they were. Like, there's no other explanation.
Yeah.
For why you would just continue the show as long as you would have, but here we are. You would think that after a certain point you would just be like, call it. This doesn't make any sense at all. It's hilarious. It's one of the funniest stories I think I've ever heard that we've talked about.
Same, honestly.
Because I mean, it just doesn't happen. You don't hear these stories all the time or any time. It's like, that's crazy though. 40 people, like, man, it tells you like I don't think we shouldn't stop wearing the masks. I don't know. There's stuff coming around too.
I haven't, man.
Yeah.
I keep wearing my mask. I am fully vaccinated and I go everywhere with a mask.
Yeah.
So.
I work at Publix and I have my vaccines and they say everyone who has their second dose is can not wear a mask, but I just wear it because there's some people there that could have something that I could catch.
I don't trust people. Yeah, exactly.
I don't trust America. That's the
exactly.
thing.
I'm like, literally, I'm like, so you, Dr. Fauci, my guy, Daddy Fauci, want me to just take the word of the American people and trust it and risk my safety by just trusting the American people?
I don't know.
I was like, because that always works out, right? That's never looked bad. That no one's ever received consequences for doing that, right?
I don't know. I think he's just giving you an option. I don't think it's that he wants you to. I think if it was up to Dr. Fauci, he'd say wear the mask all the time.
No, I mean, right. I mean, no shade to Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, I think
just I don't trust people. I don't trust the American people. You can't tell me just to trust the American public with your health. I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah,
they're the most unreliable group of people.
Also, these Karens are just.
Also, these Karens, man.
I can't tell you the amount of Karens I get in my Publix.
Man, I bet.
Makes me want to just like. Put them, oh my gosh, it's horrible.
Oh god, man, I bet. I'll tell you the funniest thing is like. My brother used to get kind of mad at me for calling people Karens, and I'm like, dude, but have you ever like had to deal with a Karen? Like, have you ever been at a job and you're a worker and they're a customer and you have to deal with them? Because you would act differently. And then he's been working at Wendy's for the last like 2 years, and we've talked about it since. And he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, these fucking Karens, man. Let me tell you. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Once you deal with a Karen.
I have so many. I have so many.
It changes you.
That's the new pandemic. The Karens.
I was gonna say, I can tell you, I've got so many stories of Karens that I've met. So minds. Like I had this one Karen come up. She's like, "How old is this food? Because it looks like this is food from yesterday." I'm like, "Ma'am, I can assure you that we cook our food fresh, like hourly." She's like, "Nah, this looks like it's from yesterday. I'm gonna go complain to the manager." So she goes and complains to the manager. And the dude's like, "Oh no, just don't worry. She's just fine."
Did it really originate from Goodfellas though, the Karen name? Like, cause that's what I heard.
I have no idea.
That's what I heard, because that's Ray Liotta, his wife. He always says that when he gets mad at her, is Karen, or when she does something stupid in the movie.
Oh, maybe.
It might have been. I don't know. I just know that during this whole quarantine lockdown thing is when Karen started.
Yeah.
Being.
Because they were stuck at home. There was no one to complain to. They had to complain to their husbands and their children. They can only take so much. So when they get released back into the wild, they're just like ready to fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's always what I think when I see a Karen. I'm like, this is so mean to say, but I'm like, girl, I'm like, does your husband like not love you or what? Like, that's how I feel. I'm like, because what is it? You're so mean and so bitter right now. Like, are you just a rich, entitled white lady, or is there something more?
That's what they are. Is they're all rich, entitled white.
Right.
But I'm like, how do you act? Like, there's a difference between just like being entitled and then like acting out that way and having it manifest in like
they think they're
public
better.
It's true. They do think they're better. And they deserve it. Yeah.
So they just want to take it out on all of us lesser people.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've never really had someone be like, that's not an okay thing to do. Like they've always been like, well, every time I throw a tantrum, I get what I want. So I'm just going to throw the tantrum.
Yeah. They also haven't been raised in a, I guess, us Latinos in like a lower end. So they won't know what it's like. They just,
it's true.
Raised into this, higher end, and they just think that they're better and they can just treat us the way they do.
Exactly. That's the thing too. I'm always like,
I would just
freaking honestly
on the ground.
Honestly, man, that should be like a thing. Like you should, if you're like a retail or food worker or like in a customer facing job, like you should be allowed like a felony a year. Like just one small felony that you get off.
No, we don't do that.
You get one. Listen, only with the food workers though, all right? Okay, would it be that bad if it's them against Karens?
It starts with one.
Maybe this is how the purge
starts. Maybe it starts with one, and then it's like a gateway drug, right? Like eventually,
you make a very
they're gonna be like, all right, yeah, this felony thing's working out. Maybe we should let them have a whole night of felonies, and then we're gonna have a purge. It's gonna be horrible.
Imagine if a purge actually just broke out. That'd be insane.
No, I don't want
I
to
wouldn't
deal
be
with
surprised.
that. Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Those movies aren't like traditional horror movies or anything, but like they are kind of freaky in the sense the concept's freaky in the sense it's like we could be heading in that direction because it's getting real bad out there.
Movie that I really want to, but I mean I just can imagine
really
that happening, if I'm being honest.
No, it puts you in an uncomfortable spot because you're like, this is very much like a couple years from now.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Would you join the killings or would you hide?
Oh, I'd hide.
I'd hide.
Man.
Yeah, no.
If I had guns, I would join.
I'd lock down.
The thing is, like if it weren't for the murder, like if murder was still illegal, then yes, I would go out. Like if it was just like theft and like petty crimes and stuff and like robberies, I'm cool with it. Like if you're telling me like I could like go to a mall or a Walmart or a Target and like take whatever I want, I'm doing it. But it's the murder of it all. I'm not gonna risk being murdered.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Like if you could go out there, we can rob any place we want and get all the money that we want. That's like a relief package right there. But to tell us
that's what it should be. It's the murder aspect. They just had to throw murder in there.
Yeah,
of course,
and it ruined everything.
A horror movie, it's gotta be murder.
I mean, true, exactly. We make a valid point.
I'd hate to be on the night shift that night. I'll tell you that, like at like a gas station or something. Like,
oh man,
dude, I can't remember in the movie.
I can't remember
exactly. I can't remember in the movie if they still have to go to work. I would imagine they have to, right? That's scary.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I feel like all the places get like kind of locked up though. Like I know it's a thing in the second one that like they're trying to get out of the city because like the city's like kind of locked down. But I don't know.
They've definitely shown them like go into stores, but like I mean, what are hospitals?
But are they open or are they breaking in?
Hospitals can't.
Hospitals,
right?
So
how are you going to, keep safe? Like I think that. I think that in that case, in the concept of the movie,
there should just be an understanding.
Not suggesting
there should be an understanding, like
right,
like no hop. There should be an understanding of like yes, we're all gonna murder people, but like no old people, no young people, no sick people.
Well, they need to be the exception because it's like it's like I mean when you get shot, where are you gonna go?
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
Right. Oh my god, can we the hospital the day after the purge? That's like the nurses like Black Friday. They're like, God, the day after the purge, am I right?
What's that, Jose?
I said I'm a diabetic, please don't shoot me.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah. Well that would be the new thing. It's like everybody would come up with an excuse like, oh, I am offended that you shot me. And it's like that would get taken away because people would be offended and it would just that'd be the next thing to get taken away.
Yeah, you shot me, I'm a diabetic.
Yeah. It would never work in today's America because of that reason. Because people would be offended. It's like even though it's
oh my gosh, cancel culture. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like it would be this is a problem that we're all dealing with and there's a certain group of people that think they need to bitch about it. It's just that's how it would be. So we could never get away with a purge because of that. I promise.
Exactly.
That's why they'll never do it most likely because of that. Yeah. It's like I mean not to mention I mean just making murder legal even for a night is like a very horrible fucking thing to do. It's like it should always be illegal as free as people as freely as people want to do it. It pisses me off because it's like they should not be exempt but they are. Because the problem is, I mean, I don't want to get like too political, but I mean, let's be honest. We know what the problem is here with the gun violence and things like that. We know what the problem is. It's just it's like they don't want to crack down on it because of money and because of greed and bullshit like that. And so if we fix that problem, then we won't have to have a purge, just fix that one fucking problem. It's not that hard. It's doable. It is hard because of money, but it's not because it's greed. It's greed that's making this country more violent. And that's unfortunate.
I do also think like, I've always been like, this is like my like totalitarian idea, but I don't think it's that bad. But like genuinely, I think it'd be such a good idea if it was like a thing in the United States, like between the ages of like, I don't know, like 16 and like 26 or something, that within like those 10 years, you have to have like recorded or like government recognized at least like 2 years of like a customer facing role. Like just somewhere in there, you can spread them out, you can do them all together, you can do whatever you want. But because I think it's so, because it's the problem I keep seeing of trying to like, because again I'm trying to justify it. I'm like, why are these people like this? Like it's just not normal. And it's like, because I think they just don't know. They don't know what it's like to work in one of those jobs and how to deal with those situations, and they don't realize the inconvenience they are, and they don't realize that these workers are limited in certain situations because they grew up never having to work jobs like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we give it like a 10-year span, you have to have like 600 days or whatever of that, like government tax recognized, that's how we'll track it or whatever, of just work. So that way everybody like can at least have a small understanding of like the workforce in America.
Yeah.
Because like it's so insane that like again not to get too political, but it's literally that so much of the world's money is made from working class people, but they don't see any of it, and yet they're like contributing to all of this, and yet we're only focusing on like this 1% of rich people who benefit from it, but they're not actually working.
Let me ask you a question that just popped into my mind while you were talking for some reason. It has to do with the purge thing. Let me ask you guys an honest question. when the purge came out, how many people, government officials, do you think actually scratched their chins and was like,
many.
That's what's fucking scary.
A good bit of them, I would say,
That's what's scary about it, is the fact that they even think about it. You know that they did.
Look, that's how fucked up our world is these days. Is that you have these people in higher powers that just want to find any kind of fucked up shit that they can put their world in.
Yeah.
Like
and that's the thing too, that
next thing you know, in a couple years we're gonna have 100 games.
Oh Jesus!
Well, again, wouldn't shock me.
Oh, please don't.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh God.
Like, our governments are so fucked up in the head that they would think about anything to put us through for their own entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
And it's the thing too. Like then the Purge. Sorry, the Purge movies like talk about this. That it's again the Purge. It doesn't matter for rich people if there's a purge or not. They have the money to buy like expensive security and like equipment to house them in their house and be totally safe. They're the ones who are like going and doing all of the crazy, like buying people for stuff. You know what I mean? They're the ones who are doing the really bad stuff. Meanwhile, the poor people are out here just shooting each other. And so what do you get at the end of it? Rich people are benefiting, poor people are dead and suffering.
Yeah. Well, that's, here's the messed up part about it though, Samee, is that there are a lot of people like that, like government officials that would do it because of the greed and the money. Mm-hmm. But then there's another part of it that scratched their chins because they thought of the actual benefits and why it would help us. Mm-hmm. That's the scary part, is the ones that are actually really good people.
Why don't we have a purge against rich people?
It's coming. I genuinely, within the next I really think within the next 10 years, a real this might be too political and philosophical for my part, but I think a real reckoning is gonna happen within the next 6 years, honestly. So next 10 though, for sure, a revolution, a war, even something. Shit's gonna go down very soon.
Because I have a friend that I talk a lot of politics with. We were talking it was probably almost a year ago actually, about how we both thought that in the next maybe 2 to 5 years that the U.S. was going to go into a civil war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would
not shock me at all.
I was about to say, as scary as it is, it's probably true. We will most likely have a civil war coming.
We need a revolution. Yeah. That's the thing. We definitely need a revolution. And that's the thing.
It's needed. Yeah.
It is needed. Yes. It is.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean we have to go out there and fight each other. We just need a revolution, or a resolution, maybe more or less. Because I mean, really, that's all it really is. I mean, something's got to give, is what it essentially comes down to. I don't think that's necessarily going to be a civil war. I think if we were going to have a civil war, the time was when they stormed the Capitol. I think that was when it was.
You know what? That's the thing too. Is I thought a civil war was going to break out when that happened.
Exactly. I think we passed our time for that. I think people are finally calming down from the whole thing, a little bit. There's still going to be pissed off people, but we had that go down, and we didn't all go out and start hurting each other. So that's the good news. So I feel like our time for that has passed, luckily. But
for sure, yeah. With the last since I'll say ever since mid January of this year, things have for some reason gotten a bit better than they were the past 4 years.
Thing is,
so
we're past the pandemic. I mean, the confusion is starting to be cleared up a little bit. We're gonna get back to normal, so that's good. So I think we've calmed down on that level, but we're still gonna we're still facing the pandemic was a wake-up call for everybody, regardless of what side of it you were on, which it shouldn't have been a political thing in the first place, but regardless of what side of it you were on, it was a wake-up call for all of us to say, oh my God, if that happens again, we're not going to survive it, because it's just going to be too divisive again, so something does got to give. Somebody's got to step up and make shit happen. It doesn't need to be a violent resolution, but it might be. That's the scary thing is what's
scary is that the only way, historically, at least this country especially, but historically the way you convince countries to do what you want is through money and violence. That's just historically accurate.
It's true.
So again, I don't want a war. I don't want violence. You know what I mean? It's just it just seems so inevitable because of all of that.
I just feel like in the U.S. we have the means to have a better solution than that. I really do, and I think that eventually we will get there. Like you said, next 5 to 6 years, man. I don't know. It's tough to predict because it's let's see who the next president is. We'll start there, and then we'll come back and talk about it because
Trump's running again.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. I didn't want to be too blunt about it here, but that's it's just let's see who gets into office next, and then we can all talk because I'm telling you that's going to be a big defining moment of.
I'm also scared of a World War III, which I think can happen pretty soon too.
Oh my God, yeah, for sure. If we have a president switch in the next 4 years from now, to put it lightly, but yeah.
Did you see that Biden snapped at a CNN reporter?
Oh, did he?
What?
Yeah, he snapped Biden when he was asked a question about. He completely snapped at the reporter.
Shit.
Lost his shit.
Cause that's another thing. I'm the internal conflict going on in America is so big that you're holy shit, that's right. We have relationships with other nations that are just
Rocket Man, aka Putin.
Yeah.
Honestly, you talk about Israel and right now,
Trump did. You know what Trump
how
did?
We're just supporting them. Yeah.
That's one of the good things Trump did was getting relations with Israel. He did really good with
that. But we never saw it happen. That's the problem. That's what scares me about it because we never saw what actually went down behind closed doors. He might have had a relationship with them, but what kind and what deal did he make? That's my question with that.
Apparently because Israel was under attack by 3 other Middle Eastern countries, and Trump made a relation with Israel to basically overthrow those 3 countries and defeat them.
That's dandy, but I just want to know how, I get that, but it's just to me, it's what else was happening? Because I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. You know what I mean?
You know what? No, I don't either. I hate the guy.
Yeah.
I really do not like voting for him, but I mean, to be honest, he's probably of the people that were running, probably the best one to vote for, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, the people that like him know he's a liar. That's what baffles me so much because
some don't. Some actually think that he's telling the truth, which is what honestly pisses me off.
They say it. They go, "Oh yeah," because all politicians lie. It's not at this frequency, and not about things that are really fucking important to us. They lie,
and it's to a degree. It was for me, it was to a degree that it was so narcissistic and for his own ego, which again, historically, we've had presidents who are like that before, and we impeach them and we call them out for it. We don't try to force the entire party to make their ideology, because that was a big thing. A lot of this is a little too political, but a lot of the Republican Party was okay, this is our guy, he's the face of the Republican Party now, we have to support him 100%, even though the things he was saying was bullshit and he was doing his own version of the Republican Party.
I just
that it was to that the lies were to that such a degree that it was almost you had to be gaslit in order to trust him.
Well, true, yeah, but I mean, it's not so much about to me, ego. Well, it is in the long run, because eventually overall it's about his power and him getting into power. And the reason why he lies, it's a confusion tactic. Hitler used to do this. He wants to say one thing and spread it, and then say another thing and spread that completely contradicts the thing before. And the reason why is because so that way Americans think that he's basically being controlled. So he is going to, spread conspiracy by lying, and then saying another thing a whole other lie that contradicts the first lie. And then Americans can go, see, he lies more because he's being controlled and he's being told what to say. It's all conspiracy. But that's just not the case. But they know, but because he supports conspiracy theories, people get his vote, or you know what I mean? He'll get people's votes.
Right.
People that believe in conspiracy.
And it is true too, which a big part of it that also makes me upset is because it is true that there's a large population of America, like close to half, if we're looking at, the 2020 election, or the 2020 election, like literally half of the country who does feel the same way as, Trump does. Like if you just look at the numbers, that's true. So there's a group of people who are willing to believe what he says, and it's sad for me because he knows that and he manipulates them. He's like, these people will believe what I say because they're confused and angry because the system doesn't work for them.
That's the other
thing. But instead of educating themselves and really looking at it, they just want someone to be angry at and to kind of throw their pitchforks at. Exactly. And since he gave them that reason to be angry, they follow him wholeheartedly. They're like, all right, he validated my emotions, so he's my guy.
Well, that's the other thing. I always compare it to the Palpatine Anakin relationship, right? Where Anakin Skywalker was already mentally confused. He was already in between. He was mentally confused, and so Palpatine played into that, and he was I'm going to confuse him more. It's a confusion tactic. It's something that, and there's evidence out there, and like this is not a conspiracy. Like Trump has studied up on dictatorships. He has studied up on Hitler tactics. He knows all this. He used the same tactics to try to dupe all of America. The problem is clearly we are much more resilient than they were in Germany. We know a little bit better. We're a little bit smarter, most of us. So, we're lucky in that way, which is why, to bring it full circle, I don't think we're actually going to head into a civil war. I just think we're too headstrong. I think that the majority of the population is just a little too headstrong to sit there and say, okay, we're going to go kill each other. I think that if it was going to happen, it would have happened now. There is a group, though, Samee, like you were saying, that does buy into this and does go out there and want to cause violence, which is why we had the insurrection on the Capitol, because I watched the whole CNN documentary on it too. It was fucking crazy. I mean, the guy, he went out there and he committed domestic terrorism by inciting that violence. And I it's so funny. I typically don't get political on the show, but this is where the conversation took us. So whatever.
I know, we never get political on this show. Here we are.
But like,
we got thoughts.
It's hard not to, because I actually happen to know a lot about it. And the thing is like, I've done my research at this point to where it's like, at that point too, I'll get into this, I guess. I
thought you spilled something.
No, I'll get into this. I mean, the thing about it is like, this had me at a point, like, mentally, where I was just not okay back last year. When I was, doing, all the research on what's actually going on and everything like that, it made me not okay mentally. I really did spiral into some pretty deep depression, and a lot of it was due to the pandemic and the fact that I'll hand this credit to him. I think the Trump, what's the word I'm looking for? Administration did get the better of me. It did. I think that at the point it did get the better of me, because it was at a point of, I was afraid. I was afraid for other people. I was afraid for this country. and that was not easy to deal with, and you know, I did spiral into something of a depression there for a little while, and it was not easy. It was really hard, but you know, the more, you know, once the insurrection happened on the Capitol, and we, you know, got past all that, it was finally like it was affirmation, I guess, that we are headstrong, we're more resilient than this, we are going to make it through it, and I don't think there is going to be a civil war. Do I think there's going to be a revolution or resolution? One of the two, for sure, 100%. That's got to happen, right? I mean, like I said, something's got to give for sure. It's a matter of when, and I don't know. Again, we'll talk in 4 years, but you know.
Yeah,
it's really, really difficult at this point, but
I've been saying for a while, especially when it comes to these whole American politics things, is I've always said, and you know, because I've traveled a lot, so I've been to Europe a couple of times too. Is when I grow up, I'm living in Europe, because like in some like desolate area, like some country that isn't like strongly into politics, and just living my life, not having to worry about stuff like that, just because I can talk about politics, but I just don't really like doing it, just because I don't really have that much insight.
I mean, we usually wouldn't on this show either, but it's just the fact of the matter. It's like, at some point I was gonna have to talk about it, because it's like it's a big issue. It's something we all went through together, you know. So I think at this point it's almost hard not to talk about. It's definitely something that happened, and it's something that I think a lot of us just want to get aired out, you know, because it's like, we can't just sit here and pretend like it didn't happen too, you know, because like, let's be honest, like what happened, like I said, it was domestic terrorism, and it went beyond politics, in my opinion. It just did. It's not just political. It went so far beyond that it just, you know, it's like, I get that people don't want to, I get that people like to stay away from the topic because they consider it political, but at this point I just don't. I just accepted the fact that this is far beyond a political issue. This is a bunch of people that got duped by a domestic terrorist and somebody who was trying to dictate this country, and that's just not how we do things here. You know what I mean? It's just not. We have to take the democratic route. We just do. It's the way we've done it for years. Why would we stop? But you know, on the same hand, when it comes to the democratic route and the way of doing things, I also think that has to have some sort of revolution to it as well, because that's not working either. You know, the fact that we cannot go vote, or we have the right to, but we know that if we vote for a third party, they're not going to win. So the reason that Biden won, and if you want the honest truth, is because the people that were headstrong in this country all got together, and we were like, we have to be strategic if we want to get Trump out. Otherwise, we're going to head to for the apocalypse. And if you like Biden, that's fine. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, he probably wasn't the best option. I mean, it
became like, it didn't matter who the Democratic nominee was. We needed to vote for him. We could have been anybody. It came to a point where it doesn't matter who that person is. We have to vote for the Democratic Party's candidate, because if we don't, Donald Trump will get a second term. Like, it just became point blank. Like, that's what will happen.
I mean,
so you have to make a choice. Do you want that to happen or not? That was kind of the choice you had to make.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been Kanye West. I still would have voted for him.
Literally, if he was the Democratic Party nominee.
Oh, did I lose you both?
Yeah. Kanye actually was. Yes. I actually would have voted for him. I ain't gonna lie. I would have voted for him.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. No, honestly, same. I would have as well. Because that's my mindset was there too. Because I mean, again, like to quote Bo Burnham from his last special, like, neoliberal fascists are destroying the left. Like, I'm sorry. And like these capitalistic, like money hungry neoliberals like Joe Biden and like Hillary Clinton, all these people that I do like, and like I don't hate them, but it's true that like their way of doing things is what's gonna cause like a revolution or a war. Yeah. Because like you're supposed to be fighting for us, and yet you're doing like not even the bare minimum. Like you say you're doing the bare minimum, but then like you look into it and you're like, you're not even doing that. So
I'm not saying
What
he's
is it?
going to make a change, but I'm just going to say the same thing that I do for everybody. Let's give him some time, because you never know. Like
Right.
I feel like the more
for sure.
that we
we're
criticize,
like 6 months into his
exactly.
His
It's like
reign.
I feel like the more we
know?
criticize it, like the harder it is
Yeah.
for them to do their jobs.
Right.
Like I really do feel like that, because like people have talked about this. Like I don't know if you guys ever saw the documentary on Netflix, Fear City. It's about like the mafia in New York and all that. But the police,
I heard about
the
that, though,
police
yeah.
were talking about like how hard it was to do their jobs because of all the backlash on the internet and things like that. Because you know, sometimes you get like people like with conspiracy theories, and it does make them scratch their chins a little bit, you know what I mean, or whatever. It's like, so for me, it's like no matter how big or how small, let give them time to figure it out, because you never know. I mean, Biden could be the guy to change it, you know what I mean? You just don't know that. It's possible. It's possible. I mean, he could be the guy who comes up with the solution to all this, but you just don't know.
People were hitting on Trump, you know, saying, "Oh, you're not going to do anything to change this country." And look at some of the stuff he did. Like he lowered the unemployment rate, the lowest it's ever been. You know, all these relations and stuff, good stuff that he's done. Is like he's done some good stuff, but you know, obviously there's some things.
There were
like,
benefits to it. I'm not trying to deny that there weren't. Like obviously, I love the gas prices when
like,
he was
we shouldn't
in
be
there.
so quick to judge. Like you know,
Yeah.
there are good things that they could probably do. But,
yeah.
You know, we want to go ahead and upfront judge them right away because.
But unfortunately, we ended up being right about that one. At the end
and
of the
again,
day.
it is true. Why again, like it's very, 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 very important that everybody votes in their midterm elections for their senators and representatives, because it's like so much of what the president is able to do and things that get passed are because of what Congress does. That's a very large part of it. That's why like so many things Democrats try to get through get blocked because Republicans say they don't want it, and vice versa.
Right.
You know, this happens like every single day. It's just a constant battle of that. So
yeah, I mean, my solution, if you want me to be honest with you, and people would, there would be backlash to this. But I think it's what needs to be done is get rid of the parties altogether. It's the biggest reason that we have division in the country in the first place, is because you're splitting us up into groups of parties when each individual person, and I could say this as somebody who does podcasts and talks to many people, is they have a unique perspective on things. And so if we want to actually make it a collective group effort, get rid of the party system altogether and let it be that. And, you know, get some candidates in there, and whoever we vote for is going to be the winner. Forget this stupid shit. You know what I mean? It just, it's so dumb. It's like, why are we still doing it this way? If the founding fathers saw how the world was now,
they'd be so disappointed.
They'd be like, are you guys really still fucking doing it that way? Because there's no reason. There's no reason anymore. It's like they would have had the solution like that.
We're supposed to be one country. We're just some like divided country, like different.
And it's just gotten so insane. It's just gotten so insane because it's split off into like people are making up their own parties now. You know, it's split off into all these different things, and we're grouping each other. It's like, isn't that why high school people have problems in high school, is because of cliques? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing as a nation. Is we're trying to split people and put them into groups and just classify them that way. And it's like, if we didn't do that, we wouldn't be. Yeah, there's a lot of people in the world. I'll be honest, like a lot of Republicans are like-minded. A lot of Democrats are like-minded in some ways, but they also have unique things, or each individual person has something unique that makes them them. And why are we still doing this party shit? There's no reason for it. Just majority rules. That's what I say. If we vote for somebody, that's who gets it. Forget what party they're in. Fuck it. I'm just done with it. I feel like that would be the best solution. I know people would have backlash because it's like, well, that's not the American way. Fuck the American way. It's sucking for us right now. We are like not doing okay with it. Forget it.
Honestly,
it's time to change. That's your revolution right there. I'm telling you, because think about it. If everybody actually had an equal say in everything, it would just be so much better for everybody. And you know, obviously there's other problems that would need to be fixed along the way, but that would be step one, and it'd make everybody just feel so much better. It's like, okay, clean slate. We're doing away with parties. Forget it. Clean slate. You know?
I couldn't agree more. I also have like a rant prepared about this in my head because I think about this a lot.
Go off.
Because like a fun like not hobby, I guess, but like a thing I like to do. Like I really like just like keeping myself familiar with like historical documents. Like I don't know, I just like reading the Constitution and Bill of Rights every once in a while, and
I like
Gettysburg
watching
Address
Hamilton,
and
so
different things,
yeah.
and watching Hamilton. Honestly, same. But like I just always been a thing. Like I just remember like freshman year when I read the Constitution, I don't know, like I liked it for some reason. I was like, I enjoy it. But I also like I do it also because I know one day I'm gonna meet like a Republican man who's gonna try to fight me on something, and I'll be like, actually, did you know that in clause 2 of the Declaration of Independence it actually says this, and I can't wait. But a part of that is so in George Washington's farewell address, which is also sung in Hamilton.
Yes.
But he literally says in his farewell address, he says America needs to remember to always 2 things. One, to always put America first. Don't try, because there was a whole thing with the French Revolution that America didn't really help with them, and his reasoning was because we can't help every single nation who's struggling. We need to always help America first, and then if we can, we'll help, but like we're never going to sacrifice America for another country. And the second thing was that we should not have political parties. That he says political parties is the worst. He says something literally like political parties are the worst possible thing that we can do for this country. To put a division system in our Congress would be detrimental to the United States of America. And we just said, cool, George. No, and moving on. We don't care.
He wasn't wrong. Look at us now. It's like,
I mean, literally, yeah, because it's, for me, like politics, and especially American politics, for me, why they get so frustrating sometimes and why I like do care is because I just have, for me in my life, I have such an understanding that all humans, like for me, genuinely, I'm like all humans are created equal. To me, literally, like no one's better than somebody just because of how they were born or what they look like or how much money they have, that or their skin color or sexual orientation. Like I literally, it's unfathomable to me that some people don't understand the concept of every human is just a human. We're all just the one species. So it becomes so frustrating for me to like see people be like, oh well, we have, our skin is ivory versus theirs is dark, so we're drawing a division, we're better than them and they're less than us. Like that is so unfathomable to me, especially to watch like grown adults do that. Because like if you're a child and you think like that, fine, whatever, you need an adult to tell you differently. But to watch these like 70-year-old white people just go off like this, and to be like, you just don't know. When I think about it, I'm like, do you get it? I don't think you get it. I think you're here for your own purse so you can make money. I don't think you're here because you actually care about the country, which again is a problem. And I think more people are coming to this frustrating understanding, which is again why I think a revolution is most likely coming very soon.
So vote Ramirez 2024. I'm Dom Martino.
Exactly. Yes, thank you. I got a lot of ideas. I've read the Constitution multiple times. I've read the Gettysburg Address multiple times.
I'm already printing out
farewell address.
I'm printing out pamphlets to spread our.
Thank you. Make pamphlets, buy buttons.
Man. All right. Well, we are out of time, guys. So I appreciate everybody being here. We're gonna get going though. Jose, thank you for coming in clutch last minute, dude, and being on the show. It was great.
I'm glad that the other person couldn't make it and join in because like we were talking earlier, I am trying to get back on here again, but I'm so glad 100%. That you reached out to me to, I'm very honored to come for the first time on your podcast.
Oh yeah, dude, it was fun. We had a good time for sure.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, man, thank you for coming in clutch like that. That was really awesome of you, and we had a really good time talking with you. And can't wait to see us or talk to you Sunday about Star Wars. But before we go, where can people find you?
Type1_Latino on all socials and on Twitch. Trying to start that soon, so hopefully I can get my whole setup and start that again. But yeah,
sick, man.
On Facebook, Twitter.
Sounds exciting for sure. And Samee, before we go, thank you for being here. And where can people find you?
Yeah, thank you as always. I am on Instagram at Samee Ramirez 14. I'm on Twitter at Samee Ramirez, also on Stereo doing weekly shows with Dom at Samee Ramirez. and then hosted movie night. Oh, excuse me, hosted movie night here on the Anorak Entertainment podcast every Monday night. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah, for sure. And you can find her running for president in 2024 as well.
Yes, thank you. How old do you have to be to run for president? 36, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 36.
Yeah, come on.
So 2024. 2024.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, 2034. Sorry, 2034.
Yeah.
2034. Vote for me. There we go.
It's too bad you're gonna look about 21 forever, but yeah. So
I'll get more votes.
For sure. So real quick before we go, I do want to address this. Just want to throw out an apology to everybody that our shows have not been coming out on the usual time. Things have been very complicated, and we're happy to be back and get back on schedule, and just a lot of scheduling conflicts. So if you guys didn't see the post that we addressed on social media, that's for you guys right there. So thank you everybody for being patient with us and keeping up with us. I want to thank Jose again, and it was really great of him to come in. But for myself, you can find me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_, and then on Instagram Dom_Martino_official, and you can find our socials on at Anorak official across all platforms, Twitter and Instagram. And then you can also find the show on Spotify now, which is really awesome. We will next week get back to the regular schedule. Wednesdays and Saturdays at 5 p.m. is when the show will air. And just want to give everybody another thank you, and please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit that bell for notifications, and then over here you can find our link to our merch. Go buy some, that would be much appreciated. We got some really fun stuff over there. And also over here you can send us a tip at this link if you want your messages read out on video form. Also you could talk to us on stereo if you don't want to pay us any money, but anything you guys can do would be much appreciated. So thank you very much for joining again. I've been Dom Martino. This has been another episode of the Anorak Entertainment Podcast, and we'll see you guys later. Good night.